Everyone wants to be healthy, but let's be real. Many of us have chronic issues we are dealing with. I am one of those people. I wish I could be in perfect health too. But if that's not an option, learning to manage my condition is the next best thing. Is it too much to ask for a partner who understands this? My name is Sabrina. I'm a 29-year-old working mom. Been married to Thomas for 3 years, and I think we have a decent relationship except for one thing.
Wake up, Sabrina! Hey!
I wake up to the sensation of being shaken. Opening my eyes, I see Thomas's face. Wait, what happened to me?
You collapsed.
Hearing that, I try to sit up and feel dizzy. Not again, I think unfazed. I am prone to low blood pressure and can easily become anemic. Even standing for too long while cooking can trigger it. So I'm extra careful when I'm cooking, but what was I doing? I think back and see a potato on the counter. Right, I was peeling potatoes. It's nerve-wracking to think I could get dizzy while using a knife.
I heard a loud thud and found you on the floor. What were you doing?
Shouldn't the first question be, are you okay? Thomas never seems to understand even when I explain my condition. Instead of worrying about me, he looks annoyed. I'm not asking for him to freak out, but a little concern would be nice. Am I expecting too much? We married after dating at work. It wasn't a whirlwind romance, but there was definitely some passion. I wonder if this is what marriage is really like. You know, Thomas and I started dating because of my chronic condition. I collapsed at a Monday morning meeting when the boss was talking longer than usual. I felt dizzy and nauseous. That's when Thomas took care of me. Ever since we got married, he hasn't been doing that anymore, and then there's the way he just acted. If he calls it just a case of low blood sugar, I can't argue back. He hears anemia and condescendingly tells me to eat liver and get some iron. He doesn't get that anemia and low blood pressure aren't the same thing. I realized in our 3 year of marriage that explaining won't get me anywhere with him. At this point, I don't care if he's not concerned about me. What bothers me more is
I have lost my appetite. I'm going out to eat.
But I'm cooking right now.
Like I can eat anything made by someone who faints just peeling a potato. I feel worse than you do. See ya.
Wait a sec. He left without listening to me. I was left sighing in front of the potatoes. It's always like this. He complains and leaves every time I collapse. And he doesn't come back for several hours. Today, he left just to eat out? How many hours will he be gone? Before I knew it, he didn't come back until morning. Was he really just eating out? I felt my anger growing. One day, Thomas approached me saying he had something to discuss. What is it?
I'm thinking of going on a trip to Hawaii with my parents during the upcoming long weekend.
Wow, that sounds wonderful. I was so delighted by Thomas's idea that I clapped my hands. Come to think of it, we haven't traveled since we got married. Sure, going with the in-laws means I have to be a bit careful, but we get along well enough. Beautiful blue oceans, wide sandy beaches. I wonder if I can still fit into last year's swimsuit. I'm already daydreaming about a tropical getaway. My mind was already in vacation mode when Thomas suddenly said,
Hey, what are you misunderstanding here?
I tilted my head in confusion. Misunderstanding what?
We're going on that trip, just me and my parents. You're staying home.
What? Why? I raised my voice, caught off guard by Thomas's unexpected words. I can't believe I'm being left behind.
You do realize your own physical condition, right? If you stand for too long, you'll faint. We can't even enjoy browsing souvenirs. How could we enjoy a trip with you?
I'm not that bad, you know, and that's really harsh, isn't it? Too much?
I'm just telling it like it is. My parents said the same thing, so you're staying.
You can't be serious.
It's already decided. We have even booked the hotel for 3.
Leaving me at a loss for words, Thomas walked out. While preparing dinner, I was left behind again. Thomas continued to go about his preparations, happily ignoring me. Should I protest to my in-laws? But then I thought of how that might ruin the good relationship we have had so far. Then again, isn't it them who are ruining our good relationship? Even so, I couldn't master the courage. I admit I might faint if I stand for too long. By the time I feel dizzy and nauseous, it's too late. It's such an unpredictable, troublesome condition. Maybe it really is a burden for them if I go on the trip. Should I just bear with it? As I pondered, I blankly stared at the calendar on the wall just then. Uh-oh. I felt dizzy and nauseous. This can't be good, I thought, too late. As my vision faded, I hoped I wouldn't fall on something hard. And with that thought, I lost consciousness.
Hey, Sabrina, wake up.
I felt something hit my body and I heard Thomas's voice. As I regained consciousness, I squinted and opened my eyes. Sure enough, I was on the floor. If I moved just my eyes, I could see Thomas standing there. Thomas?
Jeez, when will you get it together? How many times will you fall?
Ow! What are you doing?
I'm trying to wake you up because you won't be grateful.
Believe it or not, Thomas was nudging me with his foot. It wasn't a full-on kick, but still, nudging someone awake with your foot is just not done. I tried to get up in surprise but felt too dizzy and nauseous to stand. I feel sick. That's when Thomas said, "Tusk, tusk." He clicked his tongue. What? Seriously? No way. I want to be angry. I want to say something, but I'm too nauseous to speak. And what does Thomas say to me?
Hey, I'm heading out. Take care of the house, okay? Don't let it turn into a dump while I'm gone. Got it?
Completely insensitive. What, you're leaving?
I told you, I'm going to Hawaii with my parents. My flight's soon. I'm out of here.
Wait, at least help me get to bed. I'm feeling sick.
Don't care. Stop whining over a little anemia.
He's got plenty of time before his flight, right? He could at least help his collapsing wife get to bed. Ignoring my silent protest, Thomas really left. All I could do was watch him go stunned and left on the floor. Wow, that's pretty harsh. You're not mad? I am mad. That's why I'm venting. Next day, I'm venting to my colleague, Abigail. She's shocked and angry for me. Right, anyone would find this ridiculous. Somehow, recovering, I get myself up, but recalling Thomas's cold attitude, I quietly cry. It's not the first time he's been horrible, but this is too much. Even my colleagues' comforting words don't heal my heart. What should I do? Then, that night, a phone call comes in. Drinking alone, irritated, I'm shocked to see the caller ID. It says, Michael. A call from Thomas's dad, who should be on vacation with him? Something happened to Thomas? I instantly sober up and answer, Hello?
Sabrina, sorry to disturb you this late.
I sense that my father-in-law sounds down. Is everything okay?
Well, something's come up.
What he says next leaves me even more shocked. Next day, my phone buzzes in the silence. It's Thomas. Hello?
Hey, Sabrina, how's it going? Weather's great here. Life's good. Thanks for holding down the fort.
I am fuming. His enthusiasm just irritates me. On the other end of the phone, I bet Thomas is wearing a sarcastic smile. Look, I'm busy. What do you want?
What's up with the sore voice? Mad about house sitting? I'll get you a souvenir to cheer you up. What do you want?
I deeply sigh before responding. I told you I'm busy. I am at Eleanor's funeral. Call back later.
What?
There's a long pause before Thomas finally speaks. The irritation grew with each word from the clueless voice on the other end. So, I'm actually at Eleanor's funeral right now?
What? Wait. Huh?
That's right. I am at a funeral service. Surprising, isn't it? You're supposed to be in Hawaii with your parents, but here I am at Eleanor's funeral. Michael's even hosting the ceremony. Weird, isn't it? You're supposed to be in Hawaii with your parents. Quite strange, but it's the truth. So let's leave it at that. I hung up the phone and turned it off. The funeral went smoothly, and it was getting dark.
Mom!
What are you wearing? The family was eating delivered pizza when Thomas burst in, shouting. I couldn't help but react to his appearance. A shirt adorned with hibiscus flowers on a blue background. His outfit screamed, I have been to the tropics. How could you come to your own mother's funeral dressed like that?
Well, I came straight from the airport.
It seems Thomas had called his father when I didn't answer my phone. He must have rushed here from Hawaii. And here he was, sorely out of place at a funeral.
What's going on? What's this about a funeral?
I told you, Eleanor has passed away. This happened last night. I received a phone call from my supposed-to-be traveling in Hawaii father-in-law.
Sabrina, sorry to call you so late.
After that, my father-in-law continued.
Something sudden has come up. Eleanor has passed away.
I dropped the drink I was holding in my hand. The alcohol spilled onto the floor. But I couldn't move.
She suddenly collapsed at home this morning. We called an ambulance, but she never regained consciousness.
The cause was a heart attack. I couldn't believe it. Eleanor was so vibrant. I thought she had many more years ahead of her. Unbelievable, especially since she was supposed to be on vacation with Thomas.
I can't believe it, that you would be having an affair. What?
Thomas froze at my words, and the person who stepped forward wasn't me.
You fool! Lying about a Hawaii trip to go off with your mistress? Dad, how did you?
I couldn't help but marvel at Thomas's naivety. You seriously think you can leave a mountain of evidence at home and not get caught? Exactly. After the phone call from father-in-law, I frantically searched through Thomas's stuff. What did I find? Loads of unfamiliar credit card transactions and hotel receipts. Even on Thomas's computer, there were tons of photos with his mistress. I even discovered his booking history for this trip to Hawaii. Supposed to be going with his parents, yet the reservation says 2 guests, and then there's more. Why on earth are you posting photos with your mistress on social media? What are you thinking? Yes. He was posting travel photos all over social media. No pics of them together, but they were clearly reflected in the glass at restaurants. Idiot. Thanks for leaving evidence. I can now divorce you without a second thought, since you're the kind of person who would leave me while I'm down.
Wait, divorce? This is a misunderstanding.
What's misunderstood? You're obviously cheating.
No, you don't get it.
Thomas kept saying it's not what it looks like, but couldn't come up with anything else. Why don't you just go back to Hawaii? Your girlfriend's waiting, right? Even as I give him a cold stare, Thomas tries to cling on to me. But his reaching hand was stopped in its tracks.
You fool! You disgrace our family. Wait, uncle, why are you here? I ought to be here at Eleanor's funeral.
The voice scolding him was my father-in-law's own brother, Thomas's uncle. That's when Thomas noticed, not just me and my father-in-law, but he was now surrounded by relatives.
Wait, this is all a mistake. What's the mistake? Leaving your sick wife to go on a fling and lying that you're with your parents?
Cornered by his uncle's spirit, Thomas couldn't respond. Then my father-in-law steps in.
Thomas, I'm ashamed to call you my son. Consider our family ties severed, and you're fired from the family business.
Turns out, Thomas worked for our family business. He couldn't hold a job anywhere else. Even at the workplace where he met me, he was fired for making too many mistakes. It was his uncle and my father-in-law who gave him a job.
This is so unfair. Shut up. A guy who leaves his sick wife to have an affair has no right to talk. Pack your things and get out. But,
there he was, wearing a ridiculous hibiscus shirt, panicking at a funeral. It's like a comedy sketch, but don't think it ends here. I delivered the final blow. Don't bother coming home. All your stuff is already sent to your parents' place with Michael's permission.
What? Why would you do that?
It's simple. Remember the apartment is in my name? I don't have the taste for keeping a cheater around. You're not welcome anymore. I've also changed the locks, so your key won't work.
No, this can't be happening.
Thomas yelled, crumbling to the floor this time. I hired a lawyer and smoothly got a divorce from Thomas. I took plenty in alimony from Thomas and his affair partner. The mistress clearly hadn't seen the alimony claim coming. She probably had no use for Thomas now that he had lost his job. Their relationship ended just like that. Thomas had been financially supporting his mistress all along. Now jobless, he obviously couldn't make payments anymore, so he had to borrow from his father and uncle. Denied a place in his own parents' home, Thomas now lives in a rundown, dingy apartment. He's working at a new job introduced by his uncle, but it's an extremely harsh environment apparently.
Sabrina, help me. I'm gonna collapse from overwork.
Thomas called me to say that. Really? Well, if you collapse, maybe I'll take a trip to Hawaii. I said that to him. I laughed at a speechless Thomas and then hung up the phone. I blocked his number, so I don't know what happened after that. But he's likely not leading a happy life. Years have passed, and I've been blessed with a new relationship. He's knowledgeable about health and understands my medical condition. Thanks to that, it feels like the frequency of my brain anemia episodes has decreased. Maybe peace of mind is the best medicine, and he shyly held out a ring to me. My heart soared at the thought of a happy future.